Hey everyone, this is Adrian from Reversion, coming at you with hopefully a setting of the record straight with all of this current conjecture out there on the internet that men are checking out and they're no longer dating and they're happy single, which is just an absolute lie. And this other notion that women can't find good men. So hang with me for another 15 to 20 minutes while I go through what the actual reason is for this whole gender divide and why some men may be feeling like, hey, I can't do this anymore. And a lot of women apparently are thinking, I can't find a good man. So what we need to do is we need to firstly go back in history. So if we go back to the, oh God, how many fake wars have there been now? Let's just go back to the Second World War. So post Second World War, the controllers of the world needed to stimulate the economy after they'd bombed a whole bunch of places and killed millions of really good men, mostly in the war, some women obviously. And as the 50s progressed and into the 60s, a group of men got around a round table and they thought to themselves, we're not actually taxing as many of the populace as we can. We've got the men out there working, and if anybody does any research on the participation rates of men from post-war to now, it has steadily declined, but it's still higher than female participation rates. So they thought to themselves, hey, we're only taxing roughly half of the people that we're able to tax, so we need to do something about that. So this is really going to anger the feminists out there, but men started the feminist movement. That's right, men started the feminist movement. They selected and they chose, you know, a range of puppets and people to put out the front. So yes, you'll have certain names of women that stood up and they were at the rallies and they were heading the organizations, etc. But fundamentally, it was started for economic reasons, and it was also started, and this is really sad and brutal, but this is the world we live in, it was also started to affect adversely and dismantle the lovely family unit that we had back in those days where, you know, it's not for all women, but a lot of women actually enjoyed being the nurturer and taking care of the home while the man went out and dealt with all the crap in the 3D society. So that's the little history lesson. Obviously, don't just take my word for it. If you need to verify it, if you need studies and facts and all of that sort of stuff, go ahead. But that is the actual truth. So where does that bring us for today? So the feminist movement, really, parts of it were actually very legitimate and reasonable. If you can imagine being a woman back in the 50s and you couldn't vote, and if you wanted to be in a leadership position in some sort of corporate or government role, it was very difficult to do that. It was a male-dominated planet. But now, in 2026, and it has been for several decades now, it's been the other way around. We now need women to be making up, I think it's 50% of corporate boards and leadership positions in government. Now it's switched the other way. And this is what the controllers do every so often. Could be a few decades, could be a few hundred years, could be a few thousand years, but they invert and change around the script. So while it was male dominated back in post-World War II, now it's female dominated. But it's not just female dominated, it's become radicalized. We've got these really angry, and I mean angry, lost, disassociated women who have radicalized the feminist movement, because originally just being equal with men and being able to vote, being able to work if they wanted to, that's fair enough, I think. Just my opinion, obviously, but that's a reasonable outcome for a movement such as the feminist movement. But these days, it's just man bad. Men are the reason that the world's in chaos and for all the problems that we have today. And these people can't be bothered sitting down with themselves and spending some time on the internet and actually finding out it's got nothing to do with men. It's got to do with the people running the world. And again, we're not finger pointing to them. We're not blaming them. They've got a role to do. That's all cosmically contractual, and they've been here for thousands of years and they have to do it. But that doesn't mean that we need to play into their contrast and into their game. So now that I've got the history lesson out of the way, I'd like to go through now what are some ways that women are just like their expectations of men and their views of the world because of these radical feminists that have just come out and just everything to do with a man is a problem. I'd like to talk now, and this is to help people. This is not to criticize. This is to help people see how brainwashing and programming has been changing the way, particularly that females look at the opposite sex. So first up, expectations. So female expectations of a man. While there are many men out there, good men, that want to provide, that would like to do the traditional role, where they go out and earn the money and the woman stays to nurture and care for the children, keep the house in order and that sort of thing. And that doesn't mean that the man doesn't contribute and clean the bathroom and he does the lawn mowing and stuff. He still does stuff around the home, but primarily he's going out and dealing with what is a tough freaking society right now in terms of cost of living, owning your own business, working a really demanding job, whatever it happens to be. That's his role. Now, if a woman wants that traditional role, then all a man is asking for is just some appreciation and to not have to come home to more drama and chaos that he's already been dealing with all day. And this is what I see personally and with friends of mine. This is what I'm watching through these podcasts and a lot of these videos and social media posts at the moment that are, just highlighting how completely deluded some women are about a man having to do so much for them, and just because they're a woman, because they're in their feminine and they're the bringer of life, so they just can go about their day and do very little basically. So it's this whole, they've been brainwashed and told that they're better than men, and no gender is better than the other gender. No person is better than another person, regardless of how much money they have, what their status is in society, nothing. We're all equals here. We've all got a mission. We've all got some sort of pre-programmed task and assignment that we've got to figure out what that is. So that's the first point. Okay, so the second point is this fear of commitment, which traditionally is blamed on the man, but many modern women, and I mean many, just alternate and fluctuate between this, I don't know what I want, I'm not sure. Oh, maybe I'll get on and do a bit of chatting and I'll respond to some messages, and unfortunately in the dating market, they've got no shortage of choice. They're probably being inundated through their inboxes and through dating apps, but they're not committing. They're not really asking themselves, what is it they want? Do they want children? Do they want a family? Do they just need somebody for companionship? And what's happening is, out of boredom, and because they haven't got anything better to do, they don't have a purpose, whatever, they're just using men, and they're chatting, or they're going out on dates and just wasting people's time. So if you're a woman doing that and you're not genuine about really committing to some sort of a relationship and taking what the value and beautiful things that a relationship can provide seriously, then just stay single, stay in the happy place, and I'm better off single and all that sort of stuff. And the next one, number 3, it's a quick one, this one. Women out there will say, oh, I want a tall guy, and he's got to be earning this amount of money. He's got to be from a good family, and the list goes on, all these, what do they call them? Deal breakers. And that's fine, but there is actually more to people than just a list, and it's become very transactional. And another point I'd like to make is, if a man does the same thing and expresses that he wants a woman in a particular shape for her health, maybe a body shape, maybe a height, he's instantly seen as a misogynist and a shallow, womanizer or something like that. So just being aware that yes, you can have desires of to who you really want, but what we're seeking here are divine unions. So it's where two people come together and their lives become better because they work to help each other, and they work on this kingdom here that needs serious work at the moment. That's the whole point of getting together with the opposite sex. It's not to go on a Friday night and parade them around the city in front of your girlfriends so that you can be seen as some hot, attractive woman that's just scored this great guy. And it happens the other way around as well. Men taking out pretty women and saying, oh, look at this, look at what I've got. It's like, you haven't got anything. All you've done is align yourself with the physical and what you see as an appearance, and that is not usually sustainable. The next one, number 4, is the brainwashing. Both genders need to become aware of the brainwashing they are experiencing. Now, I'll give you a personal experience here, and it's to do with MAFS. I probably shouldn't say the full name, probably get sued. But these sort of shows, there's another one really popular, Love Is Like That, and women are watching these, and I'm sure some men do as well, but it's primarily a female audience. And they're watching these and they're thinking, oh yeah, it's just a bit of entertainment, it's harmless. But it's actually programming them to see relationships and also see the other sex in a particular manner. And it's not cool. It is going into their subconscious, and it is having an effect on their life. And they don't realize it. And I met this really intelligent woman recently, and we dated for a few months, and it was going really well. But when I sort of see what she was doing in her own personal time, and it was sort of ice cream and 3 hours of these shows, these dating reality shows, it really, I could see some traits within her and some of the conversations that we'd have be affected by that. So our relationship was affected by that program. Might sound crazy, but they're really powerful. They're completely fake, and they purposely incorporate so much chaos and calamities and breakdowns and everything to get the emotions running. And it's just such a shame that people are watching that sort of stuff and taking it seriously. And even if you know it's all fake and you know it's all bull crap, why the heck are you watching it in the first place? Go and read a book and do something better to improve your own life, rather than giving your energy away to some multi-million-dollar producer and a cast of people that just want their 15 seconds of fame. And to start wrapping this up, number 5 is really the very important and all-encompassing inner work. Now, I know people tend to roll their eyes, I used to, when people would talk about inner work. I mean, what the heck is that? All the inner work is being with yourself each day or each week for a period of time, or it could even just be during the day when you're at work and you have a few minutes of downtime, and you're just asking yourself, why do I want a relationship? Why? And first of all, you might be like, well, I'm alone, I'm lonely. It'd be lovely to have some companionship. You know, it's really hard to make it these days, and to get the house that I want and to team up with somebody else would be easier. And these are all valid things. Because let's face it, if you look at the vast majority of relationships, the vast majority, most of them are transactional. People have gotten together for financial reasons. People have gotten together for status, how the other person can help them. Maybe they're a business owner and they've gotten together with somebody and then they've been able to become an entrepreneur or a business owner as well. Other people are just getting together because they're terrified of putting themselves out there again, so they just stay in these stuck, miserable relationships that might look good on the outside, and they might post on social media about things being all glamorous and stuff, but realistically it's just two people who are completely bored shitless of themselves and each other, and just keep going because it's the unknown's a lot more scary. It's hard to put yourself out there. It's a lot of anxiety to look good and everything. There's a lot of pressure on people to be looking a certain way. So totally get it. And I think I've done 5 reasons, and I'm just going to sum up by saying, whether you're a man or a woman, and there are only 2 genders, by the way, whether you're a man or a woman, for the love of God, be more open to when you meet other single people, or when you're out and you think, geez, that would be a really nice person. Just see how you can maneuver your way in there to approach them and to sort of do your best to put your case forward. There seems to be a lot of hesitation out there these days. I know men are getting really fearful in approaching women because they're scared of being called something, and with all this bloody easy domestic violence orders that women can put on men these days, it can be very daunting. But don't let these people that are in control, that are doing all this contrast, don't let them get the better of you, and don't let them jeopardize potential divine unions that are out there. So keep putting yourself out there. Keep imagining the person that you want to be with. Do all that, fancy dancy work. Consider still doing all of that, pretending that somebody's with you. What would I do if I was in a relationship right now? Would I speak to myself this way? Would I do what I'm going to be doing on the weekend? It's hard, I know. But yeah, honestly, we need more people teaming up for the right reasons, not status and money and to make life comfortable, teaming up so that they help each other become better people, while also helping the kingdom of the Creator, this beautiful, beautiful place that we get to call home. We are literally the envy of the rest of the universe in terms of this beautiful natural area that we have and this environment that we get to live in. And it's all the better with somebody else of a like mind. And I know they're getting harder to find, but just keep the faith. There are good men out there. There are good women out there, and just all the stuff in the middle, whatever. Okay, until I see you in the next video, keep well.